think let's look at the Cleveland Browns. Let's take a look at the Cleveland Browns. And AK, I want to get your thoughts on this ball club because I'm really interested at the 10 spot. There have been some times where 10 can turn your program around, or then you can make a bad choice. Baker Mayfield, has he matured enough? Is Odell Beckham completely happy there? It seems like he is. He and Jarvis Landry, homeboys from way back. Myles Garrett, what is gonna become him after all the stuff that happened last year? I'm curious about what you think from the standpoint of this team and what they do in the draft. AK.
I mean, John Dorsey, the former GM, put together a very talented personnel team, but he didn't do a good job building an actual team. He collected a lot of talent, but never really built a team. And then Baker went from 14 interceptions the first season to 21 this past year. So the biggest thing that I saw in Baker was when he's comfortable, he'll thread the needle, these guys.
Yes.
He just was not comfortable and out and pay Jack Conklin money. And I think Jack Conklin's an average starter, but a good job. Thing is, you have to get a franchise left tackle at that spot. And at point, I feel like that's one of the spots where Miami could try and jump up and get their tackle. If Cleveland is willing to move down, I think Miami could try and use some picks to jump up and get a guy like Willis or Andrew Thomas at 10 in front of the Jets. But if I'm Cleveland and I really want to care about Baker Mayfield, I may protect him. And that running game was outstanding last year with Nick Chubb. I mean, Nick Chubb was unstoppable. That's where they need to get back to, and that's what Stefanski will start doing again. But they need to protect Baker whenever they want to take shots. And, I mean, I don't know how you pass up one of those 4 tackles at that spot, whichever one is there.
I think that's interesting you say that. I'm not sure that they're going to go tackle at 10. I think it would be the right move, but something just tells me they may not go there. I think there's a couple of pieces here, and I'm concerned that they may look to try to add to that pass rushing game with Myles Garrett, and we could see somebody come off the board that's more of an edge rusher, and you could see multiple things. I think Kayvon Chason, it would be too high to go get him. We've talked about Kinlaw and the fact that he may be still available there. So I think those are factors as well. But I agree with you. I think the pick should be offensive line. I just feel like it's not going to be with the Cleveland Browns.
Hey, guys, here's one thing I think, too, and it just kind of dawned on me. Denzel Ward is established at the cornerback position, Greedy Williams on the other side, right? I think they go safety.
Grant Delpit.
Yeah, LSU guy. I am sure Jarvis and OBJ are in that ear.
Yeah.
And it's because Delpit gives you some versatility. I know there's been some knocks on him. I like Delpit. I think
I do too.
Good pro. I know you got, some guys back there. Carl Joseph Sendejo is a pickup from Minnesota, but I don't think you hurt yourself by drafting a guy that can play in the field, but also can help you in some slot, come down in the box just a little bit, not a lot, but he's not afraid to tackle from the safety position. And
what about Isaiah Simmons at this spot?
That's
as well as add pass rush, and you just lost Joe.
That's a good one.
Yeah, because he gives you – and Isaiah gives you a little bit of that Dayon Buchanan mold where he can be a big safety for you. He can play in the slot a little bit, but he can be a small linebacker that creates some problems around the line of scrimmage too. So I think that's a very interesting observation. I think if Simmons is there, it wouldn't surprise me if he comes off the board. But I'm with y'all. I still think it should be offensive lineman here.
Yeah.
And Mac Wilson came on last year too a little bit. I mean, they were shocked that that he came on. So at least that's encouraging to see.
Yeah. So guys, I mean that's the top 10 of the draft. Just going to throw this out here real quick. What's a name, that we didn't talk about, in this top 10 that you think could be a big-time player? And we talked about the depth of wide receiver. Really didn't talk about any of these guys coming off the board. What's maybe that one name you think we should all look out for that could have a really strong rookie season?
AK, I'll let you go first.
I mean, Jerry Jeudy, man.
You going high.
Yeah, he going high.
Hey, I got one for you. That's an obvious one, but I think he's going to be really good. Keep an eye on Denzel Mims out of Baylor.
Okay.
I like Denzel. I mean, because when I looked at these, Laviska Shenault is another one that you have to say has a chance to be special. But Jalen Reagor from TCU, but I like Denzel Mims. The more I watch tape on him, the more I see a guy that he's raw. He doesn't do everything well. Dude, he's a dog. He competes. And that's what I love about this group of receivers, the ability to compete, pass, but also you watch them in the run game. I like to see guys that get after it, and I'm seeing some of that from some of these guys. Pittman is another one from USC. But, yeah, it's a couple of those receivers, Reg, that I get excited talking about because I think they got a chance to be pretty good.
Buck, I'm mad at you because you mentioned both of my guys. I like Laviska Shenault if he can stay healthy. He's had a lot of injury issues at Colorado. Yeah. But the guy for me is Michael Pittman Jr. 6'4" and some change, 230 pounds. He plays really, really strong, but he's faster than you think. Reminds me a little bit of guys like Mike Evans. Remember Vincent Jackson, those big physical receivers that can really make some plays once they catch the football. So I say those two names for me are a couple of names to keep an eye on. And then go ahead, Buck.
One last one before I have to get out of here. Colin Johnson out of UT.
Yes.
I think Colin has to continue to play big. When he plays big, it's awful hard to defend him. They got some big receivers coming out this year, T. Higgins, but Colin Johnson is one I think you need to keep an eye out for as well.
I agree. That's a good call on that one, Buck. So, look, we've talked about the top 10. We've talked about some wide receivers that may jump off the board for you. But that's just our opinion. That's our thoughts on the top 10 of this draft in 2020. And for first of all, Buck, appreciate your time. AKA, man, it's been great working with you. Appreciate your time as well. And look, man, we had to chop it up. We had to break down this 2020 draft. And we'll be back, I'm sure, sometime after the draft to give you guys our opinions on what teams did because we talked about so many different picks. But for now, for AK and for Buck, Reggie Walker, this has been Talking About Sports 2020 NFL Draft Preview Special. Thanks for watching. Y'all have a good one.